Done. Hey guys, what's going on? Just a quick tour. All right. Remember.
Smash that like button.
So, our methods. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. This should return all of the spaceship instances, right? I need to return all the spaceship instances. What class am I going in? Cool. That was not at all a hint, right? So, I want to build all my spaceships. How would I get it? Right? The reason I want a class variable is because it doesn't make sense that an individual instance will get access to all of the instances of the class. Right? Why would one instance have access to all the instances of the class? If I want to have all the instances of the class, I should be calling this on the class, right? So that's really it, right? I'm going to set empty array whenever I initialize and pushing to self, and then I want to make that getter method for my class variable, which I cannot put in this syntactical sugar here. So who needs me to explain this? Awesome. So what should I do now? Yes, I should test, right? Yeah? So the way I would test it is if I want all, I probably need what? I need instances, right? And what are my parameters? What's the spaceship name? Wow, I hope that wasn't successful. versus what's the cool new spaceship, right? Hyperlight 5, like. Okay, and then remember.
Hey, I got another one for you.
And then what is this again? Is this a string I'm putting in?
No. So Boolean.
Right? So like this? Cool. I'm putting in the Boolean, right? And now what is spaceship 2?
Serenity. Yours doesn't have the prox. Come on. Serenity. Thank you.
Has it been a space? Actually, you know what? Oof, when you want to keep it really real. Ooh, I've been to war, right? And then, and has that been a space?
Nope.
Wait, isn't that the one that was in space but didn't make it back?
No, it's the one.
It's the one that never went to space and then never made it back. Yeah. All right.
Oh, you're shooting.
This is not funny at all. Yeah. We're the worst. Cool. Cool. So remember, do I have any other models in this class at the moment? Do I need to rely on any other file or anything? So I can still, in fact, just test this file. All right? So I'm going to. All right? Remember, my binding is here or here? Yeah, cool. Smart. Let's do it. Now I have S1, S2, and S3. All right? Now I can call S1.all.
No.
And I get 1, 2, 3.
Wait.
Right? Because I called it here on line 4 and returned 1, 2, 3.
Would you ever have a need, and maybe this is going beyond the test, but and if it's written on, don't answer it, but would you ever have a need to call the variable names? The instance variable names? Like S2, S3?
Well, let me ask you this, right? If I make an instance method, what would I call it on?
If you create an instance method,
If I create an instance
and
method.
you call an instance.
Okay, cool. So would I ever need access to the instance? Okay, cool.
So you would need to know what they're called, right? That's when it's
Yeah, isn't that what you asked me?
right. But how would you? Where would you gather that? If I want to know what instance to call it.
That's one that.
right? Yeah?
Or you could also call, like theoretically this would be dumb, but you could call like in the array, you can call whatever
Cool.
item in the array is.
All right, cool.
Sorry, that was better said.
All right, did that help? Did I answer your question? You want to be able to just pull any instance you want at any time for whatever reason,
I
right?
just want to know what instance is what's the variable name of Apollo? It's called S1, right?
Yeah, and how would I know that? Maybe because I wrote it. Yeah.
What if you didn't write it?
That's interesting. If you didn't write code that you submitted on the assessment, we'll have a chat. All right? Turn that SAS to fucking 10 right now. All right, let's go. Questions on this? Hey, look, ready? I started writing the methods at about 7:20. All right? I should be done before 8:20. For those that were like, let's stay an hour, I'm going to try to do it as quick as I can, but I will go as slow as you need. Ready? So, done. All right? Spaceship dot find by name. What kind of method is this? This should be the class, yeah? So, this is exactly what I'm calling it. So, why bother reinventing the wheel? How do I call classes? Cool. What do I need to do here? Ready? So this should help, yeah? This method, comment, boom, right, should return all of the spaceship instances that match the passed in name. So what do I need to be doing here? All right, I need to be iterating through all the spaceships, right? Makes sense because I'm in a class method. I'm probably going to need something about the class, right? That's another hint. I'm going to go through all the spaceships, and I'm going to be selecting the one, right, do. And what are these again? What are these objects? All right, so spaceship, possibly. All right, so with the space, what am I going to do with it? Right, so here's the thing, right? Each one of these are spaceship instances. They're going to look like this, right? This is the first one. This is the second one. This is the third one. I want to make sure that the name attribute matches the name that I pass in. Should return all the spaceship instances that match the passed in name. This is the passed in name. This is the object. I want to call the name, and I want to check to see if it equals to this name. This name should be this name. This name should be this name. I'm checking that spaceship's name is equal to this name. Any questions? All right, boom. What should I do now?
Test.
Yeah, where would I test? 19 and a half. Why?
Because you need to be inside the method.
I need to be inside the method, right? So remember, I keep this outside in order to pause it here so I can actually call this. If I don't have this, it'll just run and then spit out nothing.
Right.
Sorry, just friendly reminder, bathroom is closest at 7:30 today.
Who wants to go to the bathroom?
That's why I ran.
All right, I will pause the recording. My name is done, right? We should test it, right? So I'm going to test it super fast. I'm going to call the method again. I'm going to make sure I'm able to actually pause the code so I can, in fact, execute this one. This is what kind of method? So I must call it on the class, right? And the method's called find by. I can press tab to finish because I'm lazy. And the name should be a string, right? I know for a fact that I have 3 spaceships, Apollo, Serenity, and Challenger. Just to make sure it works, I'm going to pass in data that works, like Apollo. And it should return me the instance of spaceship where the name is Apollo. And that, pause the binding. Sorry. Yeah, I'm in the new binding, correct. I'm good. Now I'm actually in the method, right? So what did I pass it? What's name? Just double check, sanity, right? And I want to make sure the array I'm iterating through is correct. I want to make sure that the instance that I'm calling on is in fact what I think it is. And then I can always check the name, right? Yeah? And then what is name? And if I really wanted to go hard, should return
True.
so I know it's working. Right? If I hit exit and it finishes, right? Boop, boop. I had to do it 3 times because I have 3 instances it's going to iterate through. It is in fact going to return me what I think, right? So in the same vein, if I take the binding out, I know it's going to work. I can run this again. I can feed it bad data, and it should not work. I can feed it good data, and it should work. That's how I know it's working. This is weaning you off RSpec, weaning you off Learn, because you can't just run it, see the green light, and be like, yeah, bet, probably okay. I'm actually verifying that it does what it's supposed to do, and that is return the instance if fed a string with the name to match.
Can I ask a question? Well, I am now. So today I was testing, but I was like using data. Like let's say instead of using the binding prime that's in the self that found my name, instead of using that, I had all the spaceships and everything, and I was testing the method with the bottom binding prime and seeing if it works there. Why is that a less good idea? Just because it's less detailed?
What does that mean? What do you mean less good?
Like, well, it seems like you're saying use the binding.
I'm pausing it here because in the event this is not created, I'm having trouble figuring out this logic. I'm going to pause it here. I'm going to write it right here. I'm going to literally go exactly this. Let's say I didn't write this and I couldn't figure out how to do it. I'm going to write a binding and I'm just going to close the method. I'm going to get in here and I'm going to be like, all right, what is, sorry. I'm going to do all this again. I'm like, what is name? Am I even calling the method correctly? What is name? Did it get passed in? Did Apollo get passed in correctly? Cool. Apollo got passed in correctly. I know I'm doing the right thing here. I'm going to copy the array I'm iterating through just to take a peek to see, is that what I should be iterating through? Is that what I think I'm iterating through? Is that the data that I need to be going through? Then I'm going to call spaceship, which is, remember, in my block. Some of you want to call it X.
So basically, the reason we want to do this is just because it's more specific. You can get more information than just saying S1.
Yes.
Or the spaceship that all
Yes. Yes.
But
Cool.
there's nothing like horrible about doing that.
Doing what?
About just using the.
It is more specific and it's better. That's all.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah? Returns all the instances where it matches the name. How do I know for sure it's working? I have to have a new instance with the same name. Right? And if I make it exactly the same, it could give me some weird things. So I want to make sure that I have 2 different ones so I know it's getting both as opposed to the first one twice or something weird. Right? So that being said, right, this is how I would test. If I know this logic works, I'm killing this binding, right? And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to call it again. And if it does in fact return me all of the instances where that name matches the name I pass in, I know I'm good to go, right?
Don't we also want to test to make sure it doesn't return you true? Did we do that already? Good job.
Yeah, very good, right? So this deliverable is done. Any questions? Nice. Something called fresh space. What kind of method is this? Cool. Class, right? And what does this method do? Return all of the spaceship instances that have not yet been to space. So what do I need to do here? I need to go through all the spaceships, right? And I need to select because I want all of them, right? I'm getting more than one instance. So I know I'm not using find. What's up, Olivier?
Spaceship.all, can that be written as self.all?
Can I write this as self.all? Yes.
Can you increment as add at all too? Is there any reason you would?
Why would I increment at all?
Why would you not use add at all versus spaceship all? Versus
Great question. Check it out. I'm in the spaceship class, right? I'm calling spaceship.all. Does anyone find that weird? I find that a little weird, right? So I can call self.all because remember, self will take on the object that calls it. All right? So what's the object that calls it? Spaceship, the class. So spaceship gets put here. Spaceship gets put here. All right? Self takes on the object that calls it. So if I'm doing spaceship.all, I'm really just calling a method that's allowed that I have access to.
And you can also
That method is right here. Yeah, dude, you're great, man. If you have questions, ask them. If you want to add value and just say something, that's cool too. Just raise your hand, right? Any questions on like how I got rid of spaceship and why all works? All is a method that I literally define here that gets called on self. Self is always implied.
So you don't need the self you found.
You don't even need the self.
So,
But if in your test you put self.all just because you want to make sure and you feel a little more safe and more comfortable with this, I'd be like, yep. But all day. Go for it. But in fact, it will work without it, right? Cool. So what should I do? Yep.
And just real quick, double at will work too.
wait, but what is spaceship?
Double at will work, right? But you run into this really tricky thing where you're always calling the instance, right, as opposed to calling the method that returns the instance. So if the instance class, you're calling the class variable instead of the class getter method that returns the class variable. If the class variable ever gets mutated, it would be really weird when you're calling just the class variable. You should be calling the getter method. Otherwise, why bother with the getter method?
Right. But, sorry, I'm a little confused. I mean, I'm just a little. Spaceship.all, before we changed it,
Yeah,
was working, right?
correct. So will self, because self is spaceship.
Okay. We just have,
Refactored it.
Refactored.
Yep.
So when you say that at all is being mutated, what you mean is that if it ever gets redefined as another variable name, is that if you try to reference it when it's no longer that variable name, you have issues.
Yeah. It's not going to happen here, which is why it wasn't worth like getting into.
For our
That's
purposes,
what we were told.
don't
So
use the.
That is true. You are getting farther than you need to.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sort of clarification, if you call all.select, is that sort of barrier at all from getting mutated by any enumerator that you call?
What do you mean?
So if you call the method all,
Dot
that's
select.
using a return value that has the equivalent value to add at all, and then you'd be mutating that return value if you ever mutated it with an enumerator. But you wouldn't be mutating the variable because you called a method that returns the variable, right? So that's all.
For all intents and purposes, I'm going to give a blank answer and say no, because you don't. To dive into that and answer it will be more confusing than understanding that it's just better to call the getter method than the class variable. All right. Also, select does not mutate data. All right. For some reason, this needs to be done. I'm in a prize session. I have 1, 2, and 3. Right? I have an array. Array.select do. Right? What are these? Yep. And then what am I doing with each of them? I'm just going to check to see if it's odd. Right? And then I'm going to end. It's going to give me 1 and 3. Right? It's only going to pick the ones and return a new array where this condition is true in the do end block. If I call array, will it have changed?
No.
Very good. Now, what will map do? All right?
No, we're returning the array, they won't change the array.
It will give me a new array with mutated data. That mutated data will say true, false, true. Yeah? Array map will mutate the data, but it is not destructive. Right? It is not destructive. Destructive means it will not change the original array. it will just return a new array with mutated data. Here's what I mean by destructive if you really want to see it. I drop a bang. I do the exact same line of code. I'm just going to type end. All right? But what is array now? Yeah, cool?
And you did the same thing for selected with one query, right?
Yep, we're not going to do it though, but cool. Yeah?
Yep.
Questions, comments, concerns? Good. Don't use the wrong iterator. Nice. So, should return all of the spaceship instances that have not been to space. What do I need to be checking here? If it has been to space, right? What is this?
Spaceship object.
This is what I mean by testing your code if it hasn't been done yet. Cool. I'm in the binding. I'm going to call spaceship, right? Dot fresh. Oh, shit. Zol. Sorry, almost cursed there. All right? Cool. So what is spaceship?
Spaceship.
Cool. So I have access to this spaceship, right? It has two attributes to it, all right? One of them being been to space. Notice how I'm saving so much time by just tabbing. Please tab, all right? This takes forever, all right? Cool. False. So it's a Boolean value, right? And I have access to it by just calling this, all right? So I'm just going to rip it. Boom. Boom, boom. And I want to see have not been to space. So do I want to set it to compare if it's true or false? Cool. All right. Now that I know that that code should be doing something like this, I should just be able to test it. So notice how I removed the binding because I actually want to spit out the return value without pausing the code in the middle. So let's run it. Indeed, I can run it. Run it. What did I get? I only got the ones with false in it. Do I have spaceships that have true in them?
Yes.
So, did it actually filter out only ones with false?
Yes.
Did it work?
Yes.
Do I need RSpec?
No.
Good. Now you're getting it. All right, boom, boom. Try this. What is astronaut? Should return all the astronauts that have been aboard that ship. Interesting. This is the really tricky one. All right. This one is the doozy. All right. I'm going to do this. I'm going to slide it up. All right. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to do this. All right. I'm going to command option, only the word. I'm going to change it to an instance. And I'm going to call it. Cool. Did anyone not get what I just did? All I did was to just copy the comment, and then I made the instance method. Remember, this and this are different, yeah? Yeah? So, just so we can be explicit here. Cool, yeah? Know the difference, learn it, love it. All right, now. It should return all the astronauts that have been aboard that spaceship. How do I get all the astronauts that have been aboard that spaceship? Do I just want to go straight astronauts?
Space flight.
What? Space flight?
No.
It's the joiner method. Spaceships don't know about astronauts.
Okay.
Spaceflight does.
So here is the logic and here's the thought process behind this, right? It is, I need to know all the astronauts that have been aboard this particular spaceship, right? Does astronaut know about spaceship?
No.
Does space flight know about spaceship?
Yes.
It also coincidentally, not coincidentally, knows about astronaut. So this is the only real object that knows about both. So if I want to know if the astronaut has been aboard the spaceship, what is the only class that has all the data that can check that? Right? So, what do I need to be going through? Space flight. All right. That what?
Have we defined spaceflight?
Select, right? And do what? What are these? Are these spaceships?
Spaceflight.
Oh, they're space. They are flight objects. Yeah? Yeah? Ja? Are you there, Ja? It's me, Ross Trent. It's a flight, right?
Yeah.
So what do I need?
Like that.
Ooh, close. No cigar. All right? Cool. So first thing I want to do is I want to call astronauts, right? And I'm calling it on the class. So spaceflight? Instance. Give me an instance. That's right. Okay, good. Noise. All right? Is that the way to do it? That is the way to do. It's going to break. Why? Because I don't have access to this. Oh no. What do I need? I need that.
Run file.
I need that combo file. I need that run file. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying? Do I need to make one? No. I have it in tools.
Yeah.
Zoop. All right. What do I need? I need the files, right? So am I going to require them? I'm going to require relative them. And relative to run, what is the current directory? Tools. Do I want to be in tools? No, I want to be where? So I get up twice, right? Remember, tools is in this. And then I want to go jump down into models. And then I want, what? I want that astronaut, right? .rb. And then I want what? Cool. Damn it. Oh, actually, that's pretty good. I'll take that. Space flight. Embarrassing. Cool. Any questions on why I did that? Money. All day. Nice. So, what's next?
Copy your old data.
Testing.
Excuse me. Yes. Right? I want to copy all my test data, drop it right in that run file. Right? And then I also want to make sure I have Prizai. Thank you. Cool. Any questions so far? Now, I need a test. But what file am I testing? I'm going to type Ruby, and I'm going to type run. It's not going to give it to me. It gave me readme. Why? Yeah? Yeah? Cool. So, I have S1, right? And I need to call what now? Yeah? So I can hit that binding. So I can finally... Didn't initialize spaceflight. Did I mean spaceship? The funk? Spaceflight's right there.
No, you didn't instantiate any space flights.
Oh, I don't have any. I don't need. Let's find out. It's real life debugging.
We have no instances either.
There's no wall.
You sure?
There's no wall on space flight.
Yeah, there's no on space flight.
Okay. So, first of all, let's find out. What is this method called?
Last minute.
Right. But how would I test this? What am I doing? Is it all, or is it spaceflight, or is the fact that spaceflight doesn't have any instances?
Space flight doesn't have it all.
I don't know. Maybe if I move it up, I could test it. Right? Let's find out. Cool. So now I can call this. And now, before it breaks, I hit the binding. So, is it spaceflight that's the problem? Spaceflight's the problem. It's not the .all, right? When you debug, know what you're debugging. Yeah? So why? Why does spaceflight not work? Can I go back to the what now?
You go back to the space flight. So yes, we don't have them all here, so.
No, that's just the problem. We have no instances of space flight.
That's also a problem.
So we cannot put the space flight. You also need an astronaut instance before you can put the space flight to initialize.
Right.
Interesting. Why does spaceship not exist in the run file? I have it right there. It's in my models. It's in a file called space flight.
You don't have an all method.
Are
Laura.
you hitting the right binding now, fries?
Space flight is not
Is there another binding now, fries?
I'm like right in this. Oh, snap.
Isn't there another one?
That's exactly what it is. I'm at this binding.
So
On
that
f-
might-
I'm on binding at 46. That's
right,
exactly
that
why.
file doesn't know about-
Yes. When I'm running, this is what's happening. I'm running astronaut, and then I'm running spaceship in my run, and it's gonna go up to down, and it's gonna pause right here. It never reached space flight, which is ironic because had I actually done this properly, it probably would have worked, right? Great debugging, right? If that stuff happens, don't panic, right? Look at all of your resources. Like, I should have read this error message. Embarrassing. Like right here, stop me on line 46. I'm nowhere near line 46 in my run file. That should have been the hint, right? Like, where's my run file? I'm not even close to 46. Yeah? So good debugging. You beat me to it. Yeah? Cool. Let's keep going. Hello? That's not at all creepy. Okay. That's all right. Don't worry. I'm only scared of like two things, right?
Snipers and.
Expectations.
I'm only afraid of six things. Cool, right? Cool. Line 13. Sounds about right. Let's finally hit that S2.astronauts. All right, so space flight. Let's see if this even exists, right? Cool. So space flight must need... Sorry. Must need... Whoops. If you want that autocorrect to stop, there's a way to do it. So look, let's be real here. I'm probably going to need all of what? Cool. Yep, me too. I thought the same thing. All right, just get rid of that. A little bit of this. Any questions? Didn't think so.
There's no keyboard shortcut for the all, right?
There is no keyboard shortcut for the all. No.
For all with its getter method.
Keyboard shortcut for all?
Like DFI.
Oh, I literally just copied this.
No, I mean, you don't know.
I don't know of one, but what you can do is in Atom, you can, what?
That's keyboard.
No, I'm just going to tell you because it's really hard, right? You can, in fact, do something called preferences, right? Or snippets. You can make a new snippet, right? And anything you want to put. If you want to put like QWE and tab, it'll build this for you, right? You can create your own shortcuts in the same way that you create your own alias in the bash, right? Don't get fancy. Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. So, nuggets of wisdom. All right, cool. So spacefights.alt should now exist. So let's bang out of there. Cool. So let's finally test that. And it should be what? Spaceflights.alt should be an empty array. All right? So what does that mean? We probably need some space flights. All right? Space flight 1. Don't make difficult test data. I'll show you how annoying it is. Space fight. Let's just leave space fight, right? Whatever. All right. Cool. I need an astronaut and I need a spaceship. I don't have any astronauts. Wow. It's almost like if you know what you're doing, it helps you. Let's do this. God, that's a no. Oh yeah, let's do that. Make your test data good, right? You'll make mistakes like this. What does the astronaut take?
Name and age.
Name. So who wants to be the astronaut?
Me.
Oh, it's definitely going to be you. Didn't matter who it was. All right. And how old?
7.
Exactly. Right. And then have you been to space? And you will never. No, I'm just kidding. You know what? The youngest astronaut. The youngest astronaut. Cool.
Is it legal to send 9-year-old sister?
Honestly, Space Force is coming out. We need recruits. Right?
Astronaut. Spelled wrong. Bear in mind.
Very good. Right? And what else does spaceflight need? A mission name. Right? That's right.
I like YOLO. YOLO.
Cool. Right? I know. You got, and I can do whatever you like. Right? Is that cool? Does that work? All right. You guys. Cool. All right. I'm not going to make that mistake again. So, cool. I did something dumb. What is this? Read the error. Initialize. Undefined local variable method mission name.
Put your test data in spaceship.
No, you spelled mission name wrong. It's Miss on
Miss
name.
on me. Miss on me.
Line 9. Line 9
You
is
okay?
spaceflight.
You okay?
It's space flight. You got it. Now that you're there.
Well, at least you
Yeah, hold on.
Hey, at least you were consistent.
Except the variable.
Not there.
I thought, yeah, it's not like jumping, so.
So who's worried about tomorrow, Tuesday? Nobody, right? You're all better than me. So, what do we need? Spaceflight at all? Cool. So now I have this one spaceflight, right? It's got a spaceship in it, and it's got an astronaut in it, and it's the YOLO 007. Cool. All right. So, what were we trying to test? Astronauts? All right. So finally, this should work. Cool. Now, let's play the game. Cool. So we're back in there, right? Does everyone know did I lose anyone on that? That was kind of fast. Cool. So, what is flight? I want to check this because I want to make sure I'm not crazy, right? And what are the attributes of flight? Mission, name, astronaut, and spaceship, right? So, what were we trying to do? All the astronauts that have been aboard that spaceship, right? So, first, just start yelling iterators, right? The first thing I really want is I want to make sure that I have all of what?
Spaceflight.
I need to make sure that I'm looking through all the space flights that are specific to that spaceship. Right? Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, should I be going through spaceflight at all, or should I be going through all the space flights that are specific to that spaceship? Right? I promise you. Through it, right? So, we need a method to figure out all of my flights, my spaceship flights, right? So what I want to do is I want to go through. Why is this tab off? What the? All right. I want to go through all the space flights, all right? And I want to only select the ones of these flights. Why am I not putting flights here? Now I feel awful because I told you not to like call out, and like we have all these barbarians in this class. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna turn shout out just back on, you know. It's only ever gonna be one at a time, right? So what do we have in flight again? We have astronaut and spaceship, and I want to check in that spaceship. All right, let's just see if that worked, right? Good, it returns that. All right. What am I checking? It says equal to me, right? I can hear the class just get more confident. And this is going to return all my flights. What should I do now? Test this method, right? For the sake of time, I'm not going to. But what I would do is just call on the embarrassing. I should go through what? The class or the instance? You sure?
It's my flights.
What's that spaceship?
our flights.
Spaceship. One spaceship.
Yes, right? It's on one spaceship. Love it when I ask hard wrong questions and I get smashed. So, this should work, right? I'm just gonna humor myself. S2.myflights. Okay? Why did that not work? Or rather, why did it return empty array?
Spaceship 2 hasn't been
All right? That's weird.
So you didn't create a space flight.
Oh, I put it in the spaceship class. Embarrassing. I didn't actually get rid of all that data. I should have. Smash! All right, cool. So in flight 1, astronaut 1, right? Cool. I'm hitting the binding here. Cool. So, nice. Right? So only spaceship 1 actually really has a flight. The other all should return an empty array. So let's check to see if that is in fact true. Yeah? Is that good enough to kind of like be like, I'm good with it? Right? Cool. So now that I have this, what should this be instead?
My flights.
Just the back.
Can I myflights.all?
Well,
Should I spank? It's late on Friday. We all have things to do. Like code all night.
Evans, thank you so much for being here. Like, I'm sorry to like say this in the middle of the thing, but like, it is 8 p.m. on Friday, and you're here helping us. Like, really.
Cool. I'm gonna get back on the survey. It's all like Evans Wang cares about my success. Like 4. It's like 4 out of 10. You should have filled out the survey. It's the only way that we know. I'm in this binding, right? Sorry, I'm not. S1.astronauts, right? I'm in that binding. What is flight again? The flight, yeah? Okay, sorry to cut you off. I'm sorry, yeah. So what do I want exactly, right? Bloop, 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 bloop. I want to make sure I get all the astronauts that have been aboard that spaceship. I know that spaceship is already locked down because I'm calling my flights, right? I need to know all the astronauts. So what does this have again? So I can always just call flight.astronaut. All right, tab's your friend, yeah? Cool. So that's going to give me that one for the first instance. File my second one is an empty array, so that's going to break. Cool. So I know that I can just call the astronaut. Yeah?
You want to map it?
no, it's wrong.
You don't need to map.
You think a map
You
plus
do
that.
need to.
Wait, hold on. Sebastian has like a important question.
Well, generally on the assessment, unless you guys explicitly ask for like a list of all names of astronauts, should we just assume that you guys are good with us just giving all the different instances of astronaut?
Unless I ask for the name, give me the instance.
Okay.
right? Great question. If I ask for the instance and you return the name, I'm just gonna be like, hey, what are you returning here? And you're like, oh, the names. I should be returning instances. I'd be like, don't stress, right? Yeah. Yep.
Sorry, that I
No, you're good. You're good. No, you're totally good.
But if we
I feel
wanted
bad.
those names, all we'd have to do is myflights.select, do flight astronaut, and then .map, and then whatever that thing is named. So we would just make that new array.
No. And here, let me show you. Hopefully, it make more sense, right? Because other people also gave you like this face, which is great because I know you're tracking, right? So if I were to call s1.astronauts, what would happen? Should I get all the astronauts back? All right, you think so? Let's find out. Cool, I got space flight back. Interesting.
Oh, right, this is my flights. I'm so sorry.
Right, I'm going through my flights and I'm selecting the flight.astronaut. This select will only return a new array based on this condition. This condition will always return true because of something called truthiness, right? Do we know that? All right. You're not comparing this to anything. This will never return like a false Boolean. The item exists, period. So I want to change this array of flights into an array of astronauts. No, it's cool. I want to smack it or spank it. Tell me, Johnny.
I won't say it.
Talk to me.
What do you want to know? What do you want to know?
I want to know what iterator I should be using.
Map.
Ooh. That's the way. I like it. The reason I'm using map is because I'm mutating the data, right? In the select, I'm going to return an array of the same type of objects. Always. If I'm iterating through space flight objects, I'm going to be, if I use select, returning spaceflight objects. If I want to change that spaceflight object into something else, I have to mutate the data. I will be using map. Yeah? Cool. So you went two levels deep in like iterators when you could just do it in this one level.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the confusion was, right? So let's test. Cool. And now I have an array of astronauts, right? Is this enough?
Yeah.
I will tell you that it makes sense to create just like maybe one more piece of C data where you can prove that it actually filters out stuff. Because right now, unfortunately, my flights is only one item, right? So, you know what I mean? Just make a few more test data where there's like an S2 flight, an S3 flight, but maybe the same astronaut, and then just create enough C data where your tests are robust and that you know for sure that it's in fact returning what it is that you want. Yes?
In the assessment, would you like us to show all of our C data and like keep it there and also show that it is robust?
It will take you longer to go out of your way to delete it.
Right.
So why not just leave it? Right? Does that look good? I'm done so. Huh? No further questions, Your Honor. Great. So I need to do something called, what is this? Instance or class? Money. A little bit of this. See how I ended spaceship here? What great comment. All right. I can hold option and it'll go through just the words. Yeah? You guys love those shortcuts. Boom! Whoa, it's done for me. Cool. You can in fact do that because you will get deliverables that look just like this. On the class, blank type of method, name of the method, and then exactly what I should feed it. It'll give it to you just like this. So, should associate the astronaut to the spaceship. What does that mean? I need to add an astronaut to a spaceship. I have a mission name. What am I doing here? I want to add an astronaut to a spaceship? Sounds like I'm making a new instance of space flight. Who was not able to determine that that was like what it was asking? I'm okay. Will you raise your hand? Because the wording is a bit vague. And if you ask me during the assessment, I will probably be like, all right, like,
After the fact, I get it.
you know what I'm saying? After the fact, you get it, yes. But initially, upon reading, if you raise your hand, was like, look, I don't know what add astronaut should do. It should associate the astronaut to the spaceship. Okay, so I have a specific spaceship because I'm on the instance, right? And I want to add an astronaut to this spaceship. If I want to add the astronaut, because I have an astronaut, right, to a spaceship, the association is through the space flight. I have a spaceship, right, and I have an astronaut. And now I want to create the association. This is the association. And that's kind of where I would like walk you through. Yeah?
So you were allowed to ask that if you feel like it's very
Yeah. This one was worded a little bit vague. I know the assessment is worded a little bit more clear. And if it's still not, ask, and we will determine how much we can answer. Otherwise, we'd just be like, just keep reading it over until it makes sense. That's not what we're going to do. But, you know, I'm going to try to, like, just push you, but I can't, like, send you to the grocery store to get a job because daddy needs that money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, at first I was thinking.
No, please.
At first I was thinking astronauts on new, but then I thought no, spaceship and an astronaut we need the join table. So then I thought we need the space.
That's exactly the logic, right? So, space flight, what are the parameters? I need the spaceship first because order matters, right? I need the spaceship first. Where am I getting that spaceship? You sure? Cool. And then where am I getting the astronaut? Exactly. And then where am I getting the mission name? Exactly. I'm getting it from the arguments I'm passing in. Yeah? Cool. Any questions? Great. Looks like this one's done. What I would do... All right, put them here. Sorry. What I would do to test this is I'm trying to add an astronaut, right, to create association. What I would really do is do spaceflight.all to see if, in fact, the correct spaceship and the correct astronaut with the correct mission name was added. I would call this method, and I would put in, you know, I don't know. Let's see how annoying this is. Ready? I'll show you. What kind of method is this? 47?
Wouldn't it be a little quicker just to call the method in your test, in your run file?
It would, but then I still want to be like in the binding to like start writing extra code outside. So the instance, let's do S4 because S4 has no real associations to anything, right? Dot add astronaut. And what parameters am I putting in? What's the astronaut? Astronaut 1. That's annoying, right? Don't do that. Just put like A2, A1, right? Just make it easy for yourself because it's so easy for you to be able to reference, acknowledge later. Cool. Anything else? What's the mission name?
Mission Impossible.
All right.
MI6.
Cool. Right. Ah. Boom. Ah. I also forgot the.
On the spelling. Mission.
A1.
Space flight in the astronaut.
Did I misspell astronaut?
No,
Yes.
in the astronaut.
You find the environment and the song name.
Mission name. They have mission name, not mission. Not doing the stop time. Because of this, it's a spelling that must stop talking. That's mission.
And I was going to not test this method.
This is what happens when you don't test your method. Always test your method.
What a great example. Normally I would be a lot more snarky and be like, I did that on purpose, but I did not.
You got nothing.
I got nothing. So yeah, please. This is just annoying. Yeah. Cool. This just created. What does that even mean? I should have now a new space flight. And there it is. Please stop, Tom Cruise. Right? It's just too many. It's too many. Huh?
I will try my best to stop Tom Cruise.
Thank you. Thank you, May. You are a real war hero.
I'm a 9-year-old.
So young. So young. All right, hey, boom. We finished that entire thing, right? In the interest of time, I'm going to talk through the rest of these, and if anyone wants anything specific, I will go over it, but this is what's going on. Are we done with this?
Yes.
Cool. What about this? Mission names. It should put the mission name of the spaceship is insert mission here.
So I would
Yes.
almost just make like a puts phrase and then do the actual work in between that method. So I'd like find the mission names for spaceflight in the actual sentence, or we could find the mission names for sentence, find the mission names for that array, get that array, and then like put that in the thing after. But, yeah.
Okay, this one's a little weird, right? Does anyone want me to actually go through it or no?
Mission.
I'm tired.
Getting started.
Yeah, I'm
So
tired.
we want to draw the.
Yeah, I think we
So we just want to take spaceflight.all, or I guess here we can just call
Each.
all.each.
Why each?
Because we're taking an action based on each of them, but we don't want to do anything to them.
Yes. And what are these? Alls?
These are flights.
Okay, cool. Just make sure you remember, yeah?
And then in the loop, do puts the mission name of the spaceship
Uh-huh.
is, and then is pound sign in this language. And then that is self.mission.
Self?
Flight.mission, sorry.
There we go. Yeah? Are we cool with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's test, yeah? Except I'm probably missing this end. Or break it. Class, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Dot mission names. What did I get? I got that is YOLO. Yeah, great. I mean, you know what I mean. I'm not going to type it all out, right? This worked, right? And then the return value is going to be the each again. And that's okay. Really, we wanted to see this, right? So good job. First time go. Way to test. Any other questions? Sebastian?
Sorry, and if we're running out of time towards the end,
And you wind up putting like this, I'd be like, what happened here? You'd be like, I was running out of time, but I didn't want to like type the whole thing out. I'd be like, got it.
okay.
I'm a reasonable person sometimes when I'm not tired and I'm thinking about Friday night stuff. It's okay, man. It's all right. Any other questions? All right. So look, spaceflight astronaut should return to astronaut associated with that spaceflight. Who needs me to go over this one? I'll give you like 2 seconds to like think through it actually. And then I'm gonna count to 10, and if I don't see hands, I'm gonna move to the next one.
I mean, maybe we can say it just to be sure that we're all on the same page. Like,
Okay. So.
You're gonna go through. You're gonna go
It would be
through.
an array. You don't have to do it.
So here is the thing, right?
And then you're gonna be like thing that return astronaut.
Thing.return astronaut. I'm definitely not going to do that.
Okay, you're gonna
Johnny.
I don't think you have to do anything because you already have a reader method. I mean, get method so you can do like space flight. This space flight this particular space flight astronaut.
Who thinks that that is correct?
Yeah.
I agree.
No, get it. You don't need to create any new method.
Sorry, yeah, you're right. I'm so sorry. That was a really dumb thing. They're getting them.
I already have the spaceship and the astronaut associated with the spaceflight. I need to make a method that returns the astronaut. right? Maybe something like this. And I'm gonna return the astronaut associated.
That's already neat.
It's already a good meeting, I guess.
So if I see this, I'm going to assume you don't understand what this is doing. Don't make me think that, yeah? So I don't need to do this. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do this. We just finished that and that already. Boom.
Sorry, I'm so used to the
No, you could. Just go for it, man. You want to say something?
I said sorry, I'm so used to the iterations.
Oh, no, it's cool. Yeah. That's why we planted it there. Because it's all like, oh, you trying to pattern match? Yes, sir.
So that would be instance of spaceflight.astronaut. That's the command that's going to be that. And you don't need to do that because you already have astronaut in your assessment. But to pull that, like I'm saying, to pull that astronaut up in Prime, you would do the instance of that spaceflight.astronaut.
Yes. Correct.
Okay.
Great clarifying question, and yes. All right. Looks like that's done. Cool. The oldest astronaut. Does anyone want me to go through this? I see no hands. All right, going once, going twice, passed. Been to space. Going once, going twice. Here we go. We're going to the next method. Here we go. Find all by name. Pass in the name. Pass in names. Everyone, we go to this. I mean, these look pretty straightforward. Yeah. Pretty straightforward.
Wait, when you say oldest, you have to compare the age of each astronaut. So you have to do that.
What excellent logic. Yes. Awesome. Great. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.